I think you did that before I actually started recording. All right, I'll listen back to see whether we hear it. Now, question 1. You have a function and it is defined by 3x cubed. Is there any spare? Do you have any spare of those at the back? No? Philip? Is there a spare worksheet? Yes? Thank you. One for tiaras. Yep. One for means. One for means. All right. So we have a function given by that. You need to find the derivative, find the rate of change, and explain when the rate of change is equal to 0. So Cass, if I asked you to do everything in the Cass, where do you start? I'm going to add calculator. Where do we start? I would define what f of x is. It makes it a lot easier and you don't have to, why is everything in, okay. Define f of x equal to 3 times x cubed. So if you have the Cass with you, let's start by defining what f of x is. Minus. You're right. So the first operation is divide. Done. Have we divide? Yes. What do we do next? Solve. So for what? Part A asks you to find the derivative. Yes, we divide. Plus 4. Okay. Another thing that's probably going to be useful to define is I will define the derivative of f as g of x. So I'm going to define the derivative as well. The problem is, listen, you can't define f prime of x. Your calculator doesn't really recognize f prime as a thing, so you need to use another letter. But I'm going to store, we pay attention, I'm going to store the derivative of f as g. So I'm going to define g of x as the derivative of f. Now the way to do it is control. Actually, you don't have the control. Just go to this one. This one. The one that is next to the book. And you can see d dx is this one. So we're going to select d dx. We're going to d dx of f of x is what we're trying to do. So this is saying that the g of x is the derivative of f of x. All right, let's try again. So I define g of x equal to, and then all I do is go click on the button next to the book underneath the delete button. A lot of things will come up and just select the one that say d dx without any notation, d dx. Yes? We found it? Put the x here and then put f of x. And done. Now if I type g of x, it will tell me what the derivative is. And it's been stored. Let's try to do that on your Cass and see whether you get the answer that I got. Does that Cass work? Is that Alicious? just one of you try to do it. If you want, you can write a comment here as well. So that is the answer for part A. Bring the Cass from now on. Try to do it. Dino. Does that Cass work? Yeah. Have we got it? What does kind of mean? Okay. How hard does it? Yes? No? Not yet? Enter. Let's write g of x, see whether you get the answer. Yes? So the answer for part A will be 9x squared minus 36x. However, you don't want to write g of x into the actual answer. So the answer, use f prime of x again. Don't use g of x. G of x is strictly in your Cass. You probably want to write somewhere that you are defining g of x as the derivative of f of x. So you remember what g of x is supposed to be. Do not use g of x in here. Okay, let's go to part B. Find the red. Yes. Yes, and then you might use g of x. You just have to be careful that there isn't a g of x somewhere in the actual question, which might be the case as well. Yes, the only reason why I didn't use f prime is because I cannot write f prime in the calculator. The calculator just doesn't recognize f prime as a thing. How do we do part B? Can we read part B? Yes. Class, find the rate of change of f of x at x equal to -2. So part B is find the rate of change of f at x equal to -2. This is part B. Because you already defined the derivative as g of x, this is just g of -2, which is 108. So this is the beauty of defining the function. It makes it a lot faster to solve for. So can we do part C? When is the rate of change of f of x equal to 0? What does that mean? For part C, when is the rate of change equal to 0? This is asking you to solve for x when f prime of x equals to 0. To 0? So what you need to do is solve for x when the derivative of f is 0. So we're going to solve g of x equal to 0 for x. Answer 0 or 4. It doesn't say. When it's a red, yeah, let's find the y value. The question is not clear enough. Yeah. I think x is 5. If it wants y, it would have said at what point.
So I got it wrong.
What you get?
23.
How do we do part D? Find the average rate of change between x equal to 2. Can you try B and C on the board? Like try in your class, see whether you can get it. So the answer for B is this one. Come on, g of -2 is 108. What? What are you talking about? -2. G of -2 is 108. -2. I don't know.
That would not work, man, actually.
It can work. Is it? No, because it's not perfectly symmetrical in the middle.
Not perfectly symmetrical, man, which is what I'm trying to make it for. I'm being honest.
Part D.
That's
Yes. So for part D, we're looking at the average rate of change, not the instantaneous rate of change. There's no need to do that, Sean. Tiara is going to have so much fun listening to this video later. It's just me yelling at the class half the time. Okay. Average rate of change is what is the difference between average and instantaneous? This is the average rate of change between 5 and 2. So y at x equal to 5, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is f of 5. Remember, f is the original function. And then we have f of 5. And then that's the answer. Be able to use a CAS will allow you to speed things up significantly as long as you define your f function correctly. That's it. For question 1, anyway. Okay. Can we try? Okay. Do those for homework. We're continuing on Tuesday with this. Please bring the CAS on Tuesday. Because I don't know. I mean, if Mr. Craig is going to book the CAS every time we have methods to revise for further, then we still have a minute.